And we'd be remiss if we didn't introduce this man. You know, who knows who this is? Let's hear it. All the hands going up. Ed Roberts, COO, Bozard Lincoln Ford. We have a seat for you. I'm going to let you sit down there. Listen, if you don't know what the hooting and hollering is about, we represent the Automotive State of the Union, or ASOTU is how you say it. We've been talking about it more in these three words, more than cars, and that really comes from what this shirt says, which is love people more than you love cars, and more than cars is just a part of that phrase. This was said by a very dear dealer friend, Liza Borges, a fourth-generation auto dealer. Let's hear it, CMA. All right.
There they are.
And here's the point. We have all of these amazing industry partners serving all of these amazing dealers, serving all of these incredible communities across the country, in every corner of our country, and we believe that there is a branding issue when it comes to dealers and used car dealers. We all know what the stigma is, and Kyle and I happen to know some of the most amazing people, and they all happen to be car dealers, the leaders, the investors in community, the ones who care for their people, and we weren't okay with that.
Yeah, see, I have this dream that one day people that are coming out of high school and college would be so interested in being in our industry that they'd be beating down the doors of their guidance counselors, of their friends, of their family members to try and find ways into it. That Northwood, our friends over
Let's
here.
hear for Northwood.
Here for Northwood.
Represent.
That Northwood would have to shutter their doors because they didn't have enough capacity in the room to be able to teach all of these students that want to go into the industry. And what that takes is a community inside our industry, but also a culture outside of our industry that sees our industry in a way that is with the most rose-colored, beautiful glasses because of the way that we've treated our customers, because of the way that we've treated our employees, because of the way that we've even just treated the community, right? And so what we've embarked on is a way to tell that story and go across the country and share what the dealers that are doing that the best are doing, whether it be with their employees, their communities, their customers, and that's what we call More Than Cars.
That is, and more recently, so we make a lot of content. We have a daily email digest. We have a daily morning show where Kyle and I try not to get in trouble for 15 minutes every morning. We have several other podcasts. We have a big event every year in May, the week after Mother's Day. But one of the big things that has happened is that our docu-series called More Than Cars, that you just saw a trailer of, got picked up by Amazon Prime Video and Tubi, and that's season 1. And the reason we wanted, that's right, that is worth it because the world needs to know, and all the people in the industry need a very practical way to show everyone else that there's a lot more going on in the industry than just trying to make money and trying to sell cars, but it actually is the fabric of our community. So season 1 got picked up, and now we are shooting season 2. They're 4-episode seasons. We are 3 episodes already done shooting. We're going to be shooting the 4th soon. And Ed Roberts and Bozard Ford happens to be the subject. We don't know what episode number it's going to be yet, I don't think.
Yeah.
But we just got to spend a lot of time with you and the lovely group and your owners and your team and your strategy and the Ford restaurant that's right on your campus, which was pretty amazing. We ate there like 7 times. So, Ed, thank you for being a part of More Than Cars, and thanks for being here with us today.
Thanks for the opportunity, and it really highlights the human element of what we do. So it's cool to be a part of it.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to chat with Ed in just a minute, but before we do that, we got a little sneak peek of his store and some of the other things that we're going to be doing in season 2. Check it out.
I hope I never forget the look on my sister's face. It's one of the happiest looks I've ever seen. She walked into a staff meeting a year and a half ago with this brown bag full of these plastic tubes with shoestrings in them. And the shoestrings said, "Love people more than cars." And she just looks at me, she goes, "I found it."
If you take the whole history of our company, it's just one relationship story after another.
I'm 21 years old, and I'm nervous. Like, grandfather's about Roman, like, he's gonna train me or something like that. And this is what he said to me. He goes, "Rye, it's not about selling cars. It's about loving the customer and them falling in love with you. And if you do that, you'll be successful."
A name badge, everybody puts a word for the year. I said, "Father, I can't change my word. relationships is on my thing. It's too important.
You want me to just keep talking about this?
Yeah, this is
Like,
great. I'm like
I'll
I'm sitting by the fire at this point.
You know, one of the things that we know about car dealers, I know this in particularly for my life, is that being a part of a dealership, being a part of the industry can really change lives. The countless stories around people that were homeless or that we saw in our season 1, people that kind of started from nothing or had no clue what they were doing. I was a music major in college, and I'm in the car business, right? And I think that that's one of the storylines that we're really trying to highlight, is that the career path, the opportunity, you know, Paul actually says a lot, and I'm going to steal his words real quick, is that in the automotive industry, there's really no ceiling, so you can go as high as you want, but there's also no floor. The ground level is all the way at the bottom. It doesn't matter what you've done, where you've been, who you are, who your family of origin is, whatever it is. The automotive industry has a place for people, and you know, probably if you look around the room, there's people that have maybe come from money or come from nothing, or come from overseas or come from the U.S., and all of those people are welcome here. You walk around this floor and you see the diversity of thought, the diversity of political orientation, the diversity of gender. Everything is welcome in this industry, and I think it's unique in that way. So, you know, we wanted to bring Ed up to kind of talk about his journey, because I think it's a really unique journey that you've had in the auto industry. First of all, give a little bit of background to where you are today, and then we'll kind of go back in history a little bit.
So today I'm the COO of Bozard Ford Lincoln, an industry leader, especially from the Ford side of the Ford brand. I'm an author and also the CEO of Mal One Leadership. So pretty cool journey on how we got here for sure.
Okay, so you didn't start out your life saying, like, I'm going to be in the car business. Why don't you tell us about how you found your way into the industry and what it changed for you?
So like most all of us, I stumbled my way in, but also like most all of us, a lot of us judge a book by its cover. We look at someone and think, I don't know about that one. And that certainly, I'm a piece of that. I started in this business, I was homeless. And when you're homeless, you get looked at as being the ground level of humanity, let's say, just to keep it politically correct. And I was told no. There's no place for you here, because I was judged by the cover with, I looked like a hoodlum, I sound like a hoodlum, probably smelled like a hoodlum, I'm sure. And certainly was judged by its cover, and then I found someone that would give me an opportunity. And it just happened to be in the car industry. I wasn't chasing the car industry, it just happened to be in the car industry. Found someone that gave me an opportunity, and now that's my life mission, is to give that opportunity back to others that may be deserving of those same opportunities.
I can tell you we got to spend several days with you and Letty and Bo Bozard, and you know, one of the things that was, it's not surprising because we've seen it so many times, but I think every time we see a different iteration of what it means to take care of your people at a dealership, I can't help but think there aren't very many other places, other industries, other businesses, whether, I don't care what industry, where the level of care for the people is expressed in so many different ways. And I'm not talking about in superficial ways. I think a lot of times companies will do a superficial program to show the world that they care, but in the end, there's not a lot of participation, and I think that's just evidence of it not being very authentic. But when we were there, we got pulled into a baby shower. We did, and that's in the episode. We heard about programs that take care of employees when they are down and out and they need some help, managed by other employees. Tell us about that program, actually. I think that's really special.
So we have an emergency employee assistance fund that is employee funded. Everybody can put something in from their own paycheck. And then also, if there is someone having a challenging situation, the employees vote on, is it something that is self-inflicted, or is it a challenge that was faced, that they stumbled into and have to face to get over, and determine the level of assistance that we can offer them to help them overcome those obstacles. And those things can be life transforming, because when you're facing those obstacles, you feel like everything's caving in on top of you. And then when your own people come around you and support you and help bring you out of that, then you say, yes, these are my people.
I feel like that is indicative of the familial nature of broader auto, but also dealerships or the community around an industry partner, to say, like, we're going to get behind this person together. We see that in fires or hurricanes nationally where people gather and rally around. I'd love to hear from your perspective, and also because you and Letty and Bo, the owners of the Bozard organization, bringing More Than Cars to your store was really important to you and them. Why share these stories, and why is it important to your organization to broaden the visibility of what you're doing?
Our industry, unfortunately, and as you guys talked about, you don't know how many industries gets this tied in. Well, everyone needs transportation, and so it's our way to connect with the community. And when you can take those elements and connect with the community at a level where it lifts everyone around you, it's rewarding for everyone involved. And the opportunity to be able to help someone grow from not having a direction in life to becoming someone that drives the store, or whatever that situation may be, as you said, that you can go as high up as you want. You can certainly back your way out if it's not what fits. But if you connect with people, then there is no limit.
The center point of a lot of what we do and what we say, it's not just feel good, and it's not just doing good for good's sake, and that is kind of what we believe at our center. However, I think it's important to have more in the industry adopt this mentality. I think it's really important to point out that there's a strange thing that happens when you take care of your people and you take care of your community, and it's called this: they don't leave, right? They stay. And not only do they stay, but they actually fight for the person on their right and on their left. And they actually get really engaged, and they start to try to learn a lot more about their industry. And they get smarter, and they learn more about the tech and the marketing and the operations, and they aspire to grow. It feels like it's a cultural thing, and what being at Bozard is indicative. And I'm sure if we drilled down into your employment numbers, it would be very obvious. I don't know if you have anything to share on that.
So yes, we're in an industry that there is a lot of turnover, more turnover on the variable side than on the fixed side, but there's a lot of turnover. I mean, an average lifespan of a service advisor in a car dealership is 2 to 5 years. And we got advisors that's been there for 30 years, and we have less than 5% turnover throughout the store. But it's connecting with our people, and it's learning what their strengths are and building the environment around them to enhance and highlight their strengths. And when you do those things, we talk about it's tough to find people, it's tough to do this. I have people that wait 2 years to come to work for us because we try to promote from within. Let me rephrase that. We don't try. We promote from within. And when you do those things, the person that wants to come in isn't the next in line. It doesn't matter their qualifications. They're not next in line. But there becomes a point to where, yes, we don't have anybody prepared for that next role, and there's an opportunity. So when you can put yourself in that position to where someone will wait 2 years to come to work for you, that's pretty freaking cool. But also that ties into you should always be recruiting so that when those opportunities are knocking, you don't have to say, okay, will this person fit? You say, which person fits us best?
Some of the questions that we get a lot when we're saying, hey, look, you really should adopt this More Than Cars mentality and reposition how you train, how you employ, how you approach the community, the amount of money that you give back. The question always comes, and it's a fair question, is what's the business outcome of that, right? Like, how do I know that the dollars that I'm spending in the community don't return void? How do I know that the training program that I install with my employees that cost me $100,000 to put in, how do I know that there's a business outcome to that? Because at the end of the day, we're still businesses that need to pay the mortgage and pay the rent and pay our people, and we can't just like be all fun and games and fluff. Can you talk a little bit about the business outcome over the last 10, 11 years that you guys have seen from really embracing this type of mentality?
So tying into the community allows the community to want to be a part of what we are, not just from an employment standpoint, but they want to support what we do. But then going into the training elements where they will send their kids to us rather than send their kids to college for whatever reason because their kid doesn't know where they want to be yet, but they're a gearhead or they're this or they're that. Well, what that does, how that returns financially, is just what we talked about a moment ago, having a less than 5% turnover rate annually. The cost to replace a person is typically about a year and a half of their salary, with the lost revenue that you go through. And when you can minimize that down to 5% in the industry that averages almost 45%, that pays off in huge dividends.
Well, listen, these sessions always go so fast. We're working really hard every day to push this big boulder up the hill, to get it to the top and to the point where the rest of the industry starts to see and move closer to this mentality that thriving people are the center point of a thriving business. So we need everybody's help to do that. Our heart is always to serve the industry. A way you can be involved with that and to help, check out the email. We think it's going to be the most fun email you get to read every single morning. Check out the podcast, come to the event, but it would also mean a lot if you just go on Amazon and watch the show. Share it with your families and together, and let us know. If you know other stories, please email us. We'll give you the email address. Chris, raise your hand. Chris is our head writer, and he gets to write so many amazing stories. Let's hear it for Chris. If you read his words every morning, you know they're worth reading. If you have great stories, send us the email to crew@asotu.com, and we'll make sure that the rest of the industry knows it. I think we're going to play the trailer one more time.
Yeah, we'll play trailer season 1. We have these pins. They say more than cars. If you adopt this more than cars mentality, you can see Chris or Anne-Marie or Jean or any of the team with this more than cars thing on it, and we'll get you a pin. But thank you guys for hanging out. And if you weren't here at the beginning, we'll drop season 1, which is on Amazon Prime right now.
Thanks, guys.
A lot of people have a perception of car dealers, right? The stigma we talked about. And then they come into a store like this, and they meet people like yourself and your team here.
There is a secret hiding in plain sight in car dealerships all across the country. Join us as we travel the nation to finally tell the truth about car dealers.
Instead of the stigma of we're going to really rip some people off today, it's like, no, we're going to be better parents. We're going to be better family. We're going to be better friends. We're going to be better people.
I love dealing with people.
They are so invested in their people.
Like, I feel this is my family away from my family.
I gotta take some action. I need to talk to my son and be a mom.
Did you ever think you'd come to work? Someone's gonna sit there and say, I would not have a relationship with my son if I wouldn't have been. Like, y'all are a part of that.
Is this a competitive store?
No, not at all. Why would you say that?
I was actually homeless. Like, I was staying in my car.
They give me everything I need, instruct me, they teach me.
This is more than cars.
Tú, la dueña de esto.
She says I'm gonna own my own dealership.